Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Sam Anderson was a character that was in seasons 5 and 6 of The Walking Dead. He was a member of the Alexandria Safe Zone, and he was a part of the Anderson family that included his older brother Ron and his parents Jesse and Pete. Now, his father Pete was abusive. He abused everyone in the family, his wife and his kids. So, Sam was abused, and he was he was a little... he wasn't like crazy or anything, but he just, I think, he just wasn't completely right in the head. I mean, he was dealing with normal stuff that kids dealing with abusive parents would be dealing with, but I don't know, he seemed a little, maybe even more so, a little messed up in the head, just a little like he had some sort of mental illness or something. Maybe not, but over the course of season 5, Carol finds out that his dad is abusive because Carol starts to bond with Sam and gets to know Sam, and Carol tells Rick that, look, something needs to be done about Pete. He's abusing his entire family. Something needs to be done about it. And at the end of season 5, Rick and Pete have a fight, and then Pete kind of goes crazy and he ends up killing the leader's husband. So the leader tells Rick to just kill Pete. So Rick just kills Pete. And that's it for season 5. Then during season 6, we continue to see Sam, and he continues to get a little more weird. He stops eating. He starts looking really pale. He's feeding all his food to like ants and stuff, and saying weird stuff. And he continues to spend time with Carol, but he just gets weirder and weirder. I mean, he's a young kid, so I kind of feel sorry for him, but he just kind of has this mental illness or something. And during the middle of season 6, the characters are dealing with a horde of walkers that break into the Alexandria Safe Zone, and they just surround everywhere. And Rick, Michonne, Carl, Jesse, Sam, Ron, they all cover themselves up in walker guts, and they try to get through the walkers without them noticing and getting to a safe place. And Sam starts to freak out. He starts looking at all the walkers, and he starts freaking out, and he starts crying, and he keeps making noise, and eventually he attracts walkers, and walkers devour him. And that's the end of his character. He gets eaten alive by walkers. So Sam was kind of an interesting character. He had an interesting role in the show. He was sort of the next big kid type character for Carol to look after. Carol's cursed. Carol always has these kids that she bonds with, and she kind of becomes like a parental figure, like a mother figure, and then they die. And then she meets another kid, and the same thing, and then they die, and then another kid. Sam was just one of those kids that spends time with Carol, and Carol starts to bond with him and sort of becomes a motherly figure. I mean, he has Jesse, but Carol also kind of looks after him, and he dies. He dies violently. He dies brutally. It's a big moment in the comics. He dies the same way in the comics. He gets eaten alive by walkers, and it's an interesting part of the story. I mean, as far as, do I think he should have lived longer? No, I don't think he needed to live longer. I think he served his purpose in the story. He's just this kid that we see, and he's been abused, and Rick kills his dad, and they try to help him, but he just kind of has too many problems. He's probably just too messed up in the head for the zombie apocalypse. Maybe he could have changed. Maybe he could have gotten better. I don't know, but he ends up getting killed. One of the problems is that his mom, Jessie, kind of shelters him a little too much. She's always giving him what he wants. I mean, he is abused by his dad, but still, Jesse kind of just does everything he wants and gives him what he wants, and I mean, it's messed up, but he tells her that he can handle, putting walker guts on himself and traveling through the walkers, and he promises her that he can do it, and then he ends up not being able to do it. So in a way, even though he's a young kid, he does kind of get himself killed. Now, I think the actor did a good job. I think the actor did a really good job portraying the character, but I don't think that he needed to live longer. Sam Anderson is not a character that I wanted to see in season 7, like with all the stuff with Negan and the Saviors. You know, what role would Sam have played in that? He, Ron, Jesse, the entire Anderson family, they died when they needed to die. The story needed to move forward, move beyond them, start showing the expanded world and the other communities like Hilltop, the Sanctuary, the Kingdom, the Oceanside. There really was no room in the story for Sam's family. They all had to die during the No Way Out part of season 6, which is a big part of the comics, and they're the big deaths in the comics. So I feel like it was kind of necessary, and pretty much they're most of the characters that die. The Anderson family, and then Deanna, and then Owen, the Wolf leader. Those are the only casualties during the No Way Out storyline. So, and you did need deaths. You did need deaths during No Way Out. So it was either, you know, kill those characters or kill other characters. You can't have everyone live. Someone had to die during No Way Out. And in the comics, it's the Anderson family, and I think it needed to stay the same way. It's the same way pretty much. I think in the comics there's no Ron. It's just Sam and Jesse. But still, as far as Sam's comic death goes, I think it was a cool moment that they adapted well in the TV show. In the show, they expand on his character a little bit. He's pretty much nothing in the comics. Like, I think he has a few lines, and that's it. He dies the same way, but he doesn't really get any character development. We don't really see him slowly become more and more like mentally ill like we do in the show. The show does a good job of sort of developing Sam and developing his bond with Carol and developing his character and showing him you just get worse and worse, and then leading up to his death. And you actually kind of feel something when he dies. You might not miss the character, you might not be sad, but you feel something when he dies. In the comics, it's just kind of like, oh wow, a kid gets ripped apart by walkers because he was yelling for his mom. You know, it's cool, but you don't feel any connection to the character whatsoever because he doesn't really have that much character. Jesse too. Jesse's a lot more developed in the show than in the comics. The Anderson family pretty much die the same way, but they're more developed in the show, and I do like that part. But that doesn't mean that I wanted them to live longer. I think they all died when they needed to die. Like I said, they didn't have a role to play in Season 7. They certainly didn't have a role to play in All Out War. I mean, what would Sam do during All Out War? You know, he just sit around and play with ants or whatever, go crazy, possibly do something wrong, and it sabotages someone dealing with the Saviors or gets someone killed. I don't know. They just needed to kill him off and move on. You know, make Rick the leader of Alexandria, because during the No Way Out storyline, after the Anderson family dies and Carl gets his eyes shot out, that's what pushes everyone to come together and be brave. And instead of hiding from the walkers, they start fighting the walkers. They defeat the herd by fighting it. And it's a big moment in the show. It's a big turning point for all these characters, that they come together as one and they fight. You know, they fight like warriors. They adapt. So it's a big moment, and you can't really have that without the deaths of the Anderson family. It's just kind of a necessary part of the story. And I'm happy with how it was done. I'm happy I'm happy with how Sam was developed and how they led up to his death and how they killed him off. And there's nothing about his death that I would change. I'm glad that it's just like the comics, but you know, he's more developed. So overall, I think his character was done pretty perfectly. Again, nothing against the actor. I think the actor did a really good job. As far as the child actor goes, he was pretty impressive as the role of Sam. I think his performance was actually pretty underrated because he was pretty good. But I still like his character's death. I still think it's a good death, and it's an important part of the story, and you shouldn't just keep him alive just because the actor is good. I mean, you know, kill him off. You know, kill him off and move on with the story. So overall, no, I don't think he needed to live longer. I think he died when he needed to die. I think the whole Anderson family did need to die during the No Way Out storyline in the show, just like the comics. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 738 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 800 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts, every bit of support matters, and is very, very appreciated. Hopefully we can get to that goal of 800. Anyway, with all that said, I'm Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.